New York, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. And all summer, Brooklyn will come to Philly as about 100 vendors set up outside the Piazza at Schmitz in Northern Liberties. Vendors will show their wares as part of the newest addition to Brooklyn Flea Philly.
I think it's going to be really exciting.
It's a really well curated event, and I'm pretty excited to be part of the first one.
Yeah, so we're excited to just be amongst all these great vendors.
We had already heard about the Brooklyn Flea in New York, of course, so it just sounded exciting from the first mention. This is definitely not your standard flea market.
Brooklyn Flea Philly will run every Sunday with local vendors that sell everything from handmade products to vintage clothing and jewelry to antique furniture and repurposed materials.
We have a few surprises that we're going to bring with us because we don't want to let everyone know what we have stashed away. But we'll have some of our items that we make in-house, our tables, our dining room tables, our council tables. We're also going to have some great bins from local factories, and we're also going to team up with a local preservation organization to have the history of some of the items that we get out of the building, so you'll be able to find out where they came from, a little story about them. The name of the business is Philadelphia Salvage Company. We sell architectural salvage, vintage, industrial, and reclaimed lumber, all from Philadelphia. Everything's got history to it, but specifically there are certain items that come from certain buildings that have a great provenance. And so, yeah, we'll have some of those items there.
Another vendor, Peg and All, specializes in turning something old and historical into something new.
And we sell treasures built from abandoned materials. So we sell bags, and we sell home goods, and we sell jewelry. But everything that kind of all connects in that the materials are all from something that was once something else. So reclaimed materials or things that were found at flea markets.
We used to find our stuff at abandoned homes and dumpsters, flea markets, yard sales, wherever we can uncover treasures. And now it's a little more methodical, but still uncovered nonetheless. Lots of old buildings that are being torn down in the neighborhood. We get wood from there, leather from military people, collectors.
Yeah. So all our leather on the bags is from World War II gun slings. We do a lot of wood things made out of wood, and then we do a lot of stuff made out of fabric, and then bookbinding too. So we're kind of all over the place.
Peg and All's treasures are great for on the go, like their waxed canvas bags, and they're great for all around the house too. Check out these wooden serving trays with a nautical theme. And if you're looking to add a little mid-century flair to your home, go see what Bobby Tilkins Fisher has to offer.
The name of my business is At Home Modern, and I specialize in mid-century art, decor, and furnishings, so items from the 1950s through the 70s. Most of the items I find come from flea markets, auctions, estate sales, Craigslist, occasionally trash day. My husband and I bought a mid-century home in 2010, and when we moved into this house, it was much bigger than our last home, and we needed to furnish it. And we wanted to really furnish it with things that spoke to the era of the house. This house was built in 1958, so we wanted vintage furnishings, but we were also on a budget. So I went out and started going to flea markets and tag sales and looking for unique things for the house. After about a year, we were on a homes tour, and we had people coming through the house and asking me if I could help them find a chair or a vase or a sofa like the one I had, and that's how the business was born.
And for those hot, steamy summer days, what better way to cool off than with an icy treat?
We're a little pop shop, and we sell handmade gourmet popsicles using seasonal and local produce from the Philadelphia area. What makes us unique is that we have interesting flavors that are different, that can challenge your palate a little bit. We try to be as seasonal as possible, so in the next week, the strawberries and the rhubarb are coming in from the local farms, so we'll be featuring those two flavors. We also, we want to offer something for everybody. So like our chocolate with salted caramel brownie, it's our best seller. It has mass appeal. It's like really rich and chocolatey, and it has pieces of salted caramel brownie pieces that are also locally sourced. And then we like to have something for people who are interested in more like adventurous flavors. Like we have a mango chili popsicle, and we collaborated with Tom, Honest Tom's Tacos next door, and they made us this fabulous, really spicy hot sauce that we put into our mango popsicles. And some people really like that, and other people are like, oh, that's a little bit too much, and they'll go for something a little more mainstream, like raspberry lemonade or something.
Even though the weekly flea market will take place in Philadelphia, it will keep its signature name.
I think it's an interesting choice to keep the name Brooklyn Flea, even though it's going to be in Philadelphia. I think it's good because Brooklyn Flea, the name alone, has a lot of panache. And I think as time goes on, people will just know when we talk about Brooklyn Flea that we mean Philadelphia because we're here in Philadelphia.
It's such a brand, right? And I think that branding is important for lots of things. And I think Brooklyn Flea Philly or South Philly is appropriate. Because I feel like if it's a different name, it just takes on a different entity. But because it has such name recognition, hopefully it will be really successful, and that will benefit like all the artists and the vendors there.
But don't let the name fool you. Many of the vendors promise to keep their products local.
We mainly focus on Philadelphia, try to be as locally sourced as possible, and we get stuff from demolition companies, warehouses that are coming down. We'll go in and buy the rights to our warehouse for the massive beams that are holding them up. We'll take those and inventory them and denail them, and then eventually mill them down into usable lumber to make kitchen cabinets and shelves.
We just got a batch of wood that was from the Ortlieb's bottling building in Northern Liberty. So all of the wood is also very local to Philadelphia. It's either inside of Philadelphia or in the farmlands of Lancaster County and stuff like that.
They are local artists. I know that the pieces come from the 60s.
All of our dairy, our milk and cream and yogurt, buttermilk, all that stuff comes from a local farm, Maplehoff Dairy. Our yogurt comes from Toy Cow Creamery. So once we get our farmers market lists, we look at that, and like now the season is just starting where there's going to be like a bounty of, berries and herbs and things like that.
Before you go, you might want to brush up on your flea market shopping skills.
I think one of the tricks to finding things at a flea market is getting there early. Seeing what people are putting out as they're putting their things out. If you're really looking for a special piece, you need to be first to get it. But if you're looking for a bargain, you might want to go towards the end of the day. Sometimes certain vendors may discount things at the end of the day if they want to get rid of them and not pack them back up into their van.
Brooklyn Flea has created buzz in the neighborhood and among the vendors.
I feel like it's a great gathering place for people in the community to come together and support local artists, support local food folks, and rather than buying like mass-produced commercial goods, which it's right for some situations, but I think it's so much nicer to support your local crafter or artist or food vendor with the products that they're making, and they spend so much time and creativity like making these products. It's a good opportunity to meet people in your community, and especially if there's food there, I think it's a fun place to hang out. And in Northern Liberties, I think is a perfect spot for that.
I think it's really exciting that the Brooklyn Flea is coming to Philadelphia because it's going to be one place where handmade and vintage vendors can get together and sell their wares and let Philadelphia know what they're doing. And it's also great because Philadelphians don't have to go to Brooklyn to find really great things.
So come on out for a unique icy treat or find an old treasure and give it a new beginning at Brooklyn Flea Philly. For D News, I'm Chelsea Calais.